Hello, my name is Tyler Mercado. My topic is conservation in Palau. This is from my Geography 101 class. In this presentation, I will be exploring the role of a conservation agent in the country of Palau. Palau. Palau is located in the western part of the Pacific Ocean. Palau is just north of Indonesia and south of Guam. Looking at the provided map, Palau consists of many islands and is surrounded by a huge barrier reef system. Palau consists of around 586 islands. The country of Palau is home to a wide variety of fauna and fauna. Tourism and pollution have strong effects on the lives of the species living on the islands and the surrounding ocean. The definition of conservation is preservation, protection, or restoration of the natural environment, natural ecosystems, vegetation, and wildlife. A conservation agent is someone who is government funded to enforce wildlife protection laws and inform the local area about the best way to preserve the natural fauna and fauna wildlife. Conservation plays a very important role in the country of Palau. All of the citizens interact with the ecosystem and have their effects on the biodiversity around them. The people of Palau. The natives of the country interact with the local fauna and fauna on a daily basis. The internal economy is based on subsistence, agriculture, fishing, and tourism. Corn is an important crop in Palau, and rats are starting to infest the area and eating the corn. Through the loss of crops, many Palauan farmers are losing revenue, seeing a decline in the preparation of traditional foods and forcing women out of their traditional and cultural role as a farmer. Tourism to Palau. A lot of tourists to Palau come from the United States of America. This is because Palau allows America to plant military bases in exchange for economic aid. Tourists who enter the country of Palau are now required to sign an Eco Pledge stamp on their passports. The pledge says, "Children of Palau, I take this pledge as your guest to preserve and protect your beautiful and unique home. I vow to tread lightly, act kindly, and explore mindfully. I shall not take what is not given. I shall not harm what does not harm me. The only footprints I shall leave are those that will wash away." The stamp on this passport and the pledge that the tourists are required to say are aimed towards the children of the island because the island is the future home of the children. So the tourists are making their pledge to the children of the island. And that's a picture of the passport right there to the left with the pledge on it with the signature. Invasive species. Not only are the infested rats affecting the local crops, they're harming the local wildlife. The Micronesian megapod is coming into conflict with the rise of the invasive species of rats. Micronesian megapods plant their eggs on the ground where it is easy for the rats to get them. The Micronesian megapod is now highly vulnerable to the invasive rats. Working together, conservation agents and local volunteers are able to find ways to control the invasive species and protect important crops and native species on the islands. Keystone species. Another way to get to the people of Palau is their keystone species. A keystone species is a species that other species in the ecosystem heavily rely on. Keystone species are also known for representing their ecosystem. An example of one in Missouri could be most native bats. Native bats in Missouri are catching white nose syndrome. Missouri bats are heavily protected and are a symbol of local conservation in Missouri. A keystone species in Palau would be the hawksbill sea turtle. The hawksbill sea turtle is listed as critically endangered on the IUCN Red List. This aquatic turtle lays its eggs on the beach, and once the eggs hatch, they are vulnerable to invasive rats and feral cats. The hawksbill sea turtle is also hurt by local fishermen who catch them in their nets. As a conservation agent, using the hawksbill sea turtle as a symbol for the rest of the island would be strategically wise. Protected waters. Through working with the local community, a lot can get done for conservation. Hard work has proven to pay off, as in 2015, Palau approved an enormous marine reserve. The reserve is 193,000 square miles, making it one of the 5 largest fully protected marine areas. That makes 80% of Palau's waters untouchable, while the other 10% is allowed for fishermen to use. Protected waters have always been a conservation goal in Palau. Palau started with the Bowl, or protected breeding grounds, where fish would annually meet to mate around the island of Palau. The island would restrict the fishing and protect the area for breeding grounds. This has expanded to protected area networks, which is used to preserve Palau's biodiversity and culture. The protected area networks, or PANs for short, is the way the country fulfills the Micronesia Challenge, which is an initiative to conserve at least 30% of nearshore marine sources by 2020. And in conclusion, as a conservation agent of Palau, a lot is going on. In a country that has some of the strictest conservation laws in the world, a conservation agent would have their hands full, especially on an island in the Pacific Ocean. A lot is to be taken into consideration. Islands take up 5.3% of Earth's landmass, but 86% of recorded extinctions are connected to invasive species on islands. As a conservation agent, it is up to them to protect and inform others about the native species and minimize any damage that would affect the ecosystem. My favorite quote that I believe encases conservation in a nutshell was said by Baba Diom. In the end, we will conserve only what we love. We will love only what we understand, and we will only understand what we are taught. Thank you for listening to my presentation. Here are my sources. Thank you.